Well, it says we are live again 1 week later. That means that it's again Thursday for Thankful Thursday Reflections. Hello, I am Jeanette, the creator and one of the two fabulous co-founders of the Gratitude and Appreciation Summits, and it's Thankful Thursday Reflections.
Oh, I'm so glad to be here tonight. I'm Kathy Fester, another co-founder of the Gratitude Appreciation Summits International, and we are so excited to be on tonight with beautiful Victoria Biggs. Jeanette, you've known her for a couple of years. Why don't you introduce this lovely lady that's taken her time out of her busy schedule with us tonight?
Yes. It's my absolute pleasure to introduce Victoria Biggs, who runs the Canadian Vocational Training Center in downtown Langley. I've known Victoria for about 2.5 years, about the same time that she's been there. Through networking is how I met Victoria. And I think there for a while we met once in person, and then it went over to a Zoom early last year. And then we kind of lost touch. And I mistook her for another friend that we were going to go for coffee. And I went, let's go for coffee anyway. So hello, Victoria. So tell us a little bit about yourself and the Canadian Vocational Training Center, please.
Oh, well, thank you. And thank you for having me. I'm delighted to be here. I have been the center director for the last 2.5 years at Canadian Vocational Training Center in downtown Langley. We opened up with a really small place, and we right before COVID hit. We'd been open for about 6 months. So we were going to grow initially back then, but then COVID hit and put a kibosh on everything. Although for us, we still met in person throughout the entire COVID period. I think there was 2 weeks that we went to Zoom online with all our students, and the rest of the time we've been face to face. I'm a longtime Langley resident. I had a business in downtown Langley for 10 years. So I grew up going to all the Langley high schools, LSS and Poppy and Lochiel. In fact, this will really date me, but the Lochiel school that I went to grade 1 in is the one that's up at Campbell Valley Park, that little Lochiel schoolhouse. So that was the school that I went to.
That little yellow house?
Yeah. That's where I started my schooling in Langley.
Wow.
So yeah, so I've been involved in a lot of networking groups, from the Chamber to the Downtown Langley Merchants Association, where I sat on the board, Valley Women's Network. I'm a member of Rotary of the Semiahmoo Club, and have been for about 15, 16 years, although I started at the Langley Central Club. And what I do here is we are running government-funded employment training programs. So they're 12 weeks long. They accept anybody that wants to get work, especially people that have been impacted by COVID, laid off, or couldn't find work or whatever. We help them get some of the skills that they will need to go back into the workforce. We help them find a job, and we pay them some stipends while they're in the program. So it's a really awesome program. We went from about 10 students to we now have about 33, and we're growing quite quickly. It's an awesome program. We have huge success. One of our students in the last one went out to work at $27 an hour. So
wow, that's great. And it's a much needed service out there too. That's awesome.
And that's how I reconnected with Victoria last year. Victoria was saying that she has placement students that need to go out and do practicum. And I had Vera, one of her students, come in, and I think she was with me for 10 days and did my bookkeeping and data entry and CRM, and she was absolutely lovely. I met her husband as well, and had a little coaching session with him because he was looking for work as well. So it was such a beautiful introduction, and I look forward to having one of your students again at my place of business. So because we're in Advent time, I want to tell everybody why Victoria is here. We went for coffee 2 weeks ago, almost 2 weeks ago tomorrow, and Victoria was telling me how she's using gratitude at her school. So Victoria, take it away, because we say it's about yourself, your business, and your community, and how you're using gratitude in your business is very unique. And I'd love for you to share the story.
Well, when we moved here to our new location, of course, it was brand spanking new. So we didn't have anything on the walls, didn't have any furniture or anything. So I thought rather than go out and buy inspirational pictures, I would much rather encourage all of our students to practice gratitude, because I think it's, if you're practicing gratitude, you can't be all caught up in the drama of everyday life. So I gave them all Post-it notes sitting on their desk, and I encouraged them, write something that you're grateful today about, whether you caught the bus on time or somebody made you breakfast, whatever it is, I want to see it up on the wall. And the other option they had was, if you see somebody doing something that is kind of above and beyond, doing a random act of kindness, anything like that, make a note of it and stick it on the wall. So it's been a really, really popular feature. So because it was so successful, we actually started a seasonal tree. So our seasonal tree, like for Halloween, it was all dressed up with Halloween. Then we punched out like creepy spiders and stuff. And the students were asked to name your fear, put it on the tree, and get it out of your life. For this coming up Remembrance Day, we've got all kinds of red and white hearts. The students can write why they're proud to be Canadian or what they love about Canada or anything like that. So it's really just to encourage people to come from that mind frame or mindset that, I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on, but we can make our world a little better.
Oh my goodness. That's amazing. Oh, Jeanette, where do you find these people?
Like attracts like. We know that, Kathy, as we are going around the world, meeting people in the four corners of this round world that is like that. And if you wouldn't mind, Victoria, share kind of what you recently were spurred to do based upon how Kathy and I have this math equation that 1 + 1 + 1 equals 100,000. I would love to know how 1 equaled 12 in your world.
Well, we have a student, she was really struggling, and it's taken a lot of patience. Our facilitators are really amazing. They're not in it for the money, they're in it for the student, and it really makes a difference on the impact that they have on the students. But this particular student was really struggling, and I'd been spending a lot of time with her. And one day she came into my office and she gave me a Post-it note instead of putting it on the wall. And I actually have it here. It says, Victoria, I'm grateful for your gratitude wall and the Gratitude Fear Tree Initiative. I'm grateful for your kindness and empathy. So I said, you know, that's really sweet. I think I'm going to stick it on my computer. And then as I was looking at it, I said, you know what? I should probably take time to sit down and write why I like all the students in that class. So it actually inspired me to sit down. And it took me probably 20 minutes and write a little note for each of the students in that class and put it up on the wall. So ironically, when I came out, she was reading what I had written for her. And she wasn't just reading it, she was taking a picture of it. So it really has an impact, those little things that, you know, just remind people that there's good stuff out there.
Absolutely. I think that is absolutely beautiful. And in this day and age, we need that more and more, especially with students and students that are struggling or students that are dealing with mental health. There's a lot of that going around right now. Students that have no place at home, no safety. You know, there's so many different patterns that are out there. To have an outlet and somebody like you and a program like you to be able to express that kindness and gratitude in a very unique way and being recognized in an open way, that is so incredibly powerful and probably helps strengthen their character and their connection with one another and with you. I think
in community, going home. Can you imagine going home to a spouse or kids and just having that shot of kindness and to be that trick to the kids or spouse?
Yeah.
For that matter.
Yeah.
Oh, did we lose?
Yeah, our students are like 25 to, I think the oldest one we've had is 67. And
Cool.
some of these people have not had a lot of positive things in their
Yeah.
life. So to come here and be in a totally inclusive, supportive place that just actually looks at what great things can happen in your future is, I think, a really can be a challenging concept for a lot of people that haven't had that in their life for a long time.
Absolutely.
I've
Can
got
you
a question.
imagine the whole planet having that same
Yeah.
opportunity? How much more peaceful we would be as a collective human connection? Like,
I would love to know, Victoria, when someone comes and visits your office that has never been to your school and they arrive and see the wall, what's the reaction?
Oh, they love it. I've
yeah,
had people actually take pictures of it and say, oh, this is an awesome idea. So yeah, no, it's been well received, which is why we just keep doing it. It's not like we've pulled down the notes or anything. That the students, I catch them up there all the time, writing about the facilitators, writing about other students, writing about they like their bus drivers. So I mean, just that whole pay it forward type of attitude is. I had one student that caught the bus one day and he thanked the bus driver and he said, you know what, we practice gratitude at school and I am just so grateful that you pick me up every morning. And the guy just looked at him. And then when he went to get off the bus, he said, you know what, that made my day. That's the nicest thing anybody said to me as a bus driver. Said, well, it's all because of CVTC. They tell us to get out there and spread the kindness. So
awesome.
So yeah, I love hearing stories like that because it really knows that it's not just in here, it's going out back into the community and it's inspiring others. So,
wow, that is wonderful. Thank you for joining us tonight. It's been an absolute pleasure chatting with you. We have a little tradition at the end of our calls. We're going to put our hands together and we're going to rub them.
Put your hands together, rub them. Going to warm them up. Half a heart coming together. We pump it 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Kindness out to the world.
Out to the world, everybody. Thank you for joining us tonight, Victoria, and thank you for joining us, those watching. We have another guest on next Thursday. Looking forward to seeing you all. Be safe and spread the kindness around. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Night.